How to add or import details of suppliers or vendors. Being a small business owner, you know how important it is to maintain supplier or vendor records. Doing this helps you pay bills and track expenses. QuickBooks makes the process of adding supplier records simple and convenient. In this video, you will learn how to add a supplier, how to import details of suppliers or vendors. Supplier information can either be added manually or supplier records can be imported from an Excel sheet or a CSV file. Let us see how we can enter the supplier information manually. Sign in to your QuickBooks account. On the home screen, click Expenses on the left navigation bar. The Suppliers page opens up. To add a supplier, click New Supplier at the top right of the screen. Supplier information window opens up. Enter the name of the supplier, company, and fill the mandatory field. Display name as. You can also add the email, phone, mobile, and fax numbers of the supplier and the website address, if any. You can enter other supplier contact information in other field. Enter the supplier address or use map link. Enter the billing rate per hour if applicable. Select the default payment term from the terms drop-down list. You can also add a new payment term by clicking Add New. Define the new payment term and click Save. Enter the outstanding balance with the supplier, if any, in the opening balance field. Also enter the account number of your supplier for easy reference. Select the GST registration type from the GST registration type drop-down. Note that GST unregistered is the default option. To know more about GST registration type, click the link What is GST registration type? Also enter a valid GSTIN. Enter the supplier's tax registration number and choose the currency used for payment from the drop-down tab for I pay this supplier with. Click Save to save the details. The new supplier added gets appended on the supplier's page. You have successfully added a supplier record. If you have multiple supplier records to add, or you have an existing supplier records list, you can easily import the data from an Excel sheet or a CSV file to QuickBooks. You do not have to manually enter each record. On the suppliers page, click the down arrow next to New Supplier at the top right of the screen. Choose Import Suppliers from the drop-down list. Import Suppliers page opens up. QuickBooks allows you to maintain detailed supplier records, but all fields are not mandatory. The key fields that have to be included in the Excel sheet or the CSV file are the first and last name of individual suppliers, company name, email address, and phone number. Download the sample file by clicking Download a sample file to know the required format. Note that this is not mandatory. Click Browse. A pop-up window appears. Select the file to be imported and click Open. Confirm that the selected file is the correct file and click Next at the bottom of the page. It is now time to map the data so that the QuickBooks will pull the right data from your file. Map the fields in your file to the ones in QuickBooks. On the left-hand side of the window are the QuickBooks online fields, and on the right side are the fields that will be pulled from the imported file. Check if the mapped fields are correct. If not, click the drop-down list and choose the correct field. Click Next. Check whether all the supplier records have been added. Also check whether the information in all the columns are correct. For example, the name column has the name of the supplier. The company name column has the company name, and so on. Click Import to import the supplier data. The data import will be complete and you can see the suppliers added on the suppliers page. You now know how to import suppliers' records in QuickBooks. Sign in to QuickBooks for hassle-free supplier management.